Welcome back to L-Boys Entertainment. I am Brute. Today we're checking out a game that is nostalgic for me. It might be for you too. We're talking none other than Last Stand Union City. Now recently, as far as I ever knew, the Last Stand trilogy was only available on gaming websites like Addicting Games or Unblock Games websites. But I found it randomly on Steam one day, decided I would buy the trilogy. Now, we're specifically talking about only Union City, but to be clear, there are two other games that are different in a way, where you play as a man named Jack who holds up in different parts of the country in like a fort. You're not moving around, you're basically sitting in one spot, fortifying and gathering supplies while fighting off a wave-based horde. But the one game I'm talking about and that I played a lot and remembered from when I was a wee lad is Union City. Now this was a way different game, or a much different approach to the game than what they've been doing. Compared to the last two, where you were sitting still or kind of just behind a barricade, you are now able to explore and move around. Also, you create your character instead of playing as Jack. And somewhat similar to Project Zomboid, you pick an occupation and create a character before you are put into the hell pit that is Union City. Now, when I was a kid, I used to only play military as an occupation because, why not? They know guns, they're soldiers. And I thought if they're soldiers, they're probably the best at fighting than any other occupation. So instead of doing that, I decided to mix it up and play a different occupation. This time I chose engineer. I chose to be a little bit more on the intelligence side than extremely efficient at killing. But now you need to know why you're here. Now, you live in Union City and you're traveling home one night when your car crashed and you came upon the first bit of infected. You realize something is wrong and you need to get back to your wife. When you inevitably fight through an extensive amount of creatures, you run into different people that tell you what's going on and try to help you as best they can, including even this nice pawn shop man that will take your money and sell you weapons illegally. But hey, it's the apocalypse right now, so I don't think laws matter anymore. But nonetheless, you still need to find your wife. You go to the apartment building where you live and find a note saying that she went to the hospital to help people out. What a nice lady. Now, too bad when you get there, she isn't. At this point, you are told that at the stadium, there is a quarantine. People are gathered there, and supposedly that's where your wife is at this point in time. So you fight through even more of this disgusting horde. You get to your wife to find out that there's some treachery afoot. So not only are the military there, but some sort of a special branch called HERC, or HERC. Now these guys are a little sketchy. The normal soldiers, the normal National Guard, the military, they, for the most part, have proven that they're just trying to help people and keep them away from the infected. Or apparently gathering people elsewhere and not allowing anyone to tell them where they're going. People get separated, and when asked, they simply say, "We can't tell you," or they're going to testing, etc. You find a man in a similar situation, a janitor, that needs the same help you do. He wants to find his wife, figure out what they're doing with her, where she went. So he gives you a key to the stadium so that you can sneak onto the observatory side. You sneak in there, they're not too happy, and they try to kill you. But luckily, you just casually carry a suppressed MP5. You just found it, so you get to keep it. Once you cut through a bunch of random scientists with Glock 19s, you find a document stating exactly what was said. They are being moved to a new quarantine to be tested on further, but if any civilian asks, it is not meant to be stated. It is considered a breach of safety for the government if any of that information gets out. But on the document, it states that they are at the park in Union Square. So with that information, you go back to the janitor and you both set off to sneak in. Through more luck, they are set up right next to a building the janitor used to work at before this whole shit show went down. You need to go to the basement. He gives you a key and you go through the sewers, fighting through more creatures of the night to get inside the Union Square Park.
You're gonna die! You're about to die! You're gonna die!
You get in there and you have to fight more soldiers. But you do eventually find your wife. She has been bitten and put inside a cage. You're able to find the keys, get her out, and start escorting her towards the coast where there is a boat promised there that you can use to get off the mainland. But of course, how could this be a last stand game without old Jackie? You run into old Jack with a handful of other survivors, and he tells you that there isn't a way to get off the island on a boat because her will destroy it. They've killed pretty much anybody who's tried to leave the island. It's quarantined. So instead, he gives you information to head towards a nearby military base to blow a hole in the wall to take the fight directly to them. So that's exactly what you do. You go to the military base, you snoop around, and you find everything you need to make a C4 explosive to destroy a 1-foot thick concrete wall. And you got some new toys on the way. Of course, you get that equipment, you meet up with Jack, you give him the explosives so that he build it, and then you move to the wall. Once the wall blows, that of course attracts all the infected in the general area, and now it's an all-out sprint to the finish line. Can't stop for anybody, including these soldiers right here. But eventually you make it to the boats. Jack somehow beat you there supernaturally, and he tells you to head off into the sunset where the ending's still bad. It's still bad. You didn't save anything, don't really know what the point of doing all that was. I guess you just want to be with her in her final moments. You knew she was bitch, so I don't know. But she turned in the middle of the ocean, and that's where it ends. That's it. That's the game. Yeah. But in either case, if you enjoyed that, and that brought back the same amount of nostalgia for you as it did me, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with a friend that might enjoy it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.